Hi, my name is Bruce Shabara. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
All right. So when you were checking in today, I was given your paperwork, and they told me that your name is Pilar Palabunda. Is that correct?
That's right, I'm Pilar Palabunda.
How are you today?
Doing okay.
Good. Well, Pilar, before we get started, I'm going to actually have you sign a couple documents. This is just letting you know that everything that's said here today is going to be confidential. I want you to know, with that being said, that I am a mandated reporter. So anything that you say that you could be a harm towards yourself or others, I am. I have to report that. So I just would like to let you know up front when talking about confidentiality that about me being a mandated reporter, and I just want to make sure you understand that.
I understand. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. So what we're going to sign today, this is just some confidentiality documents, just letting you know that they will be. So I would just need you to fill this out. You're going to do your name here, and you're going to sign with today's date, and then you'll initial on these two lines as well.
Okay. Here you go, Bruce.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so well, let's get started here. So what brings you in today?
I need some help.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate a little more on that, or go a little further into what it is you're?
Sure. I'm hoping to get connected with some mental health resources because I'm fighting what I believe is a bipolar disorder and an anxiety disorder. I'm specifically seeking help now because I feel a little bit manic and out of control, and it's affecting areas of my life that uh, I don't want affected. Specifically, I'm having a very hard time. Excuse me. Specifically, I'm having a very hard time focusing at work,
Okay.
and I'm having a hard time um, having any sense of patience.
Okay. And I just want to let you know that I'm taking notes today just because, as the intake process, I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So I'm just taking notes so when I get everything typed up, that I don't miss out on anything, and make sure that the services that we offer, that we get you set up for whatever it is that could be helpful for you. So I'm taking notes here to make sure that we get you the best help that we have to offer you. Okay.
Do I have access to those notes?
Oh, completely, 100% access to these notes.
Okay.
Um, so anyway, so let's go. So that's what brought you in. So as I hear you, just to make sure that I hear you correctly, you just wanted to get some mental health resources. You feel like there might be some bipolar and then some anxiety going on.
That's correct.
Okay. And then the reason that you're seeking help right at this time is because you're feeling a little manic and maybe a little out of control.
That's right.
Okay. Just to make sure I heard you correctly there. Um, you're trying to get some focus with work, and you just feel like you haven't had much patience.
I've had no patience.
Okay. No patience. Okay. Well, we have different services here that we can connect you with, but we'll go a little further in the process here and just see what we can do to help you. Um, so, would you mind? How old are you, Pilar?
38.
Okay. And when in your birthday, your date of birth?
July 25th, 1980.
All right. And do you identify with a race or ethnicity?
I'm white.
You're white. Okay. And you want to tell me about your current living situation?
Sure. I live with my mother.
Okay. And how is that relationship?
It's a strong, solid relationship. I count her as a support system.
Okay. That's good. That's really awesome. So you feel really well supported by your mom?
I do.
Oh, that's great.
Is it great for a 38-year-old to be living with his mother? That's another part of the problem.
Oh, is that a part of the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we can go. We can talk a little bit about that. I think. Well, what I do think is great there is I think that having a strong support system with your mother is excellent.
Okay.
I think any bit of support that we can get as people is something great to have. Now, it's not for me to say if living with your mom is good or not. I think that that would be something for you two to how you guys feel about that. I think, but if it's a healthy relationship, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay.
Um, how about education? How high of an education level did you get to?
I have a bachelor's degree,
What's your bachelor's in?
anthropology.
Nice.
Well, it's basically worthless. Employers don't have a match under their chair to hire somebody with a Bachelor of Arts in anthropology, but it does separate me from the non-degreed people of the world.
Yeah. I would say it has to be probably looked like as an employer. Yeah, I would say with education that you definitely look better on paper than someone with no degree, and that general education is a good thing to have. School's not always easy, so sounds like you did a good job coming this far.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, would you say your living situation is a healthy living situation right now?
It is.
Okay, good. Now, are you able to identify some strengths within yourself?
I can identify some strengths within myself. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm very self-aware. I know when I'm right, and I know when something is off. I guess that's what I mean by I'm self-aware. Earlier I mentioned I'm feeling manic right now. I'm aware enough to know that. I'm not afraid to ask for help when I need it. Is that enough, or do you want me to continue?
If you feel like you want to talk more, feel free to go on.
It's a little hard for me to talk about my own strengths
Right.
because it feels like I'm tooting my own horn, if you will.
I
So I think I'll stop there.
Well, that's okay. I think that these are great. I think that you are very correct on being able to self identify, and call out what you feel is identifiable to you. And I think that these are definitely great things to see within yourself. Um, there's times where people aren't able to identify one thing, and one thing is such I think a bonus when somebody can see something that's going well for them or what they can do well in their life. So I think it's great that you can identify more than one, and I think that you do have a great vision on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're talking about strengths. How about some difficulties? What are some difficulties that you might feel like you're having right now? I know we talked a little bit about some stuff up before previously, but is there anything else that you would like to go into that you're feeling like you're having difficulties in right now?
I'm having a very hard time focusing. I have no sense of patience. And everything feels overwhelming to me. Even simple, small tasks seem to paralyze me because I don't quite know where to start.
Okay. Now, Pilar, what is your daily schedule like? Is it a heavy schedule on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I'm currently employed. Don't know for how long, but I am currently employed. I work Monday through Friday from 6 to 3.
Are there other things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis regularly?
No.
Okay.
Work feels too much to handle as it is. So at the end of my work day, I really have nothing left.
Okay. So going to work, so you would say going to work um, Monday through Friday on a 6 to 3 basis is pretty draining for you, and
It
you don't
is.
feel like you have much left beyond that.
Correct.
Okay. Have you been feeling? Have you been noticing yourself feeling a little more tired than usual?
No, I'm constantly exhausted.
Is
I
that
can't recover from the exhaustion.
okay?
Yes, I'm tired. But then when it's time to go to bed, I can't seem to fall asleep.
So this is an ongoing thing where you just feel like you just can't catch up. You just can't catch up on rest, and and it's just keeping you exhausted.
That's right.
And I also heard that, but when it's time to go to bed, then you're like your brain's maybe ticking, and you're ready to just go.
That's right.
Okay, I've been there before. I've been there before, late at night, where I just all of a sudden all I want is bed, and then it's time to lay there, and then next thing you know, everything that you could think of, you're thinking of. So I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I do get that's frustrating because you just want to rest. So you're struggling there, I understand that. Let's see. What about do you set goals for yourself?
No.
Okay. If you were to set a goal for yourself, what would a goal for you look like?
Right now, because of how I'm feeling and excuse me, the physical symptoms that these feelings are giving me, my goals right now would be very, very, very small goals.
Okay.
Easily attainable right now.
I think starting small is always great, especially when you haven't been a person that sets goals in the past. So you don't want to set yourself up to fail by setting something so big that you end up not meeting the end goal and then being extra hard on yourself. So I think you're such a clear-minded person with your vision, and I definitely admire that. I think that that's a great thing in you. I think you show resilience in that. If you were going to set a goal, what would that look like for you? Like, what would, for me, if I was going to set a goal, I would set one to, you know, to save $300 out of my next paycheck. And that might be a short term goal because that's within 2 weeks. So what would something small, something in a close future, if you were to set one today, not saying that we're setting this, but what would it look like for you? What are you comfortable setting for yourself?
Oh, my goals would only be able to be set for a day at a time.
Okay.
I could not have a long-term goal that I couldn't complete the same day that I wrote it.
Okay.
That would be too overwhelming to me.
Okay.
So if I were to set a goal today, it would be to leave here with resources to get me some help or to have a follow-up appointment made. That's how small the goal would have to be for me at this point in time.
Well, you made it here today, and we're definitely gonna make sure you have another appointment before you leave. So, without setting it or maybe saying, calling it a goal, you're definitely gonna reach some of those for the day. So, um, again, I definitely believe you're gonna find some real help here. Here. So when talking about the bipolar and anxiety, I want to go a little further into that, and I just want to find out, have you been diagnosed by a doctor before?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been diagnosed with both?
Yes.
Bipolar anxiety? Okay. And in the past, have you sought help in the past for these things?
Yes.
Okay. And how did that go? How did seeking help or treatment for that?
It didn't go well because the VA is my only resource, or was my only resource at the time, and they wanted to medicate me exclusively, and I felt like I needed some psychotherapy as well. I wanted to talk through what I was feeling rather than just taking a pill. Also, when I was medicated, I suddenly went from feeling a combination of mania, which would last for a number of weeks,
Right.
to depression, which would last for a number of weeks, back and forth. But with the pills, I felt nothing.
Okay. So you didn't.
So it's almost like I was an empty vessel,
Right.
just a soulless creature.
All right. So
the help I've sought in the past, I got help, but it was unsatisfactory to me.
okay.
There has to be more than that.
Right. So you're somebody that sounds to me, if I'm correct, that it doesn't you don't like to take pills.
I'm not opposed to taking pills, but it needs to be the right pill so that I can still feel things.
Right.
I don't want to just be wiped out.
Right. Yeah, that's not a fun way to be. Okay.
I don't want to feel depressed. I don't want to feel manic, but I want to feel something in between.
Right. So you want to feel like someone's working with you. You want to feel like somebody's working to help and guide you, but you don't want to feel like the only importance is somebody wanting to offer you pills. You want to know that they're there to help you no matter what that looks like.
Correct.
Okay.
And I want, in addition to psychiatric help, I want psychological help as well. I want to talk through my thought processes. I want to learn new skills to help manage my anxiety and my bipolar outside of just medication. Again, to be clear, I'm not opposed to taking it,
Right.
but there's more than one way to manage any given set of symptoms or any given circumstance.
Right.
When our kids misbehave, we can spank them, right?
Right.
Or we can talk to them about their misbehavior. There's more than one way to manage that circumstance. That certainly has to be true for somebody who has mental health issues. There's more than one way to manage it, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a multidisciplinary, holistic approach to managing it. I hope that's very clear.
Very clear. And I think that I agree with you completely. Sitting here with you, Pilar, sitting here with you, I feel like you have a very deep understanding of what it is you're needing. And we offer a bunch of different services here that we're going to get you set up with. I'm an intake person, so the next step is going to be getting you hooked up with a case manager, and you will be given options to be given some therapy and to work through some therapy. You're going to be in a position to decide if meds is going to be what you want to do, or if the therapy that you're receiving is going to be good enough for you and you don't feel that you need the pills because you're having an outlet. You're never going to be forced to pills are never going to be forced upon you here. You're going to get to talk through everything, and we're going to work with you on all this stuff, and I definitely believe that you're a very strong person, and I can see you actually really benefiting from the assistance we can get you here.
I have some questions about the assistance.
Of course.
So I mentioned that I want to have some psychotherapy help, some help from a mental health professional outside of standard psychiatry, outside of just medication. But I have to feel comfortable with who I'm working with.
Right.
If I don't have a connection or I don't feel safe with a certain therapist or worker, is there more than one?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Is it my right to say to someone helping me, thank you, I appreciate the help, I don't feel safe with you, I don't feel connected to you, I don't want to work with you?
Absolutely. You're in complete control.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna call the shots. You're gonna it sounds like you're open and willing enough to allow us to work with you. It seems that you are open enough to give this a shot, and I believe as we go forward, I think it's very it's a smart choice to sit back and be aware that we get to make these shots and be comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to get the help you need, because some kind of shut off is going to just begin to happen. And so we want you to feel comfortable, because we're going to be able to give you the most help when you're at your most comfortable. And so we would never want you to be in a situation where you feel like you're not safe, or in a situation you don't want to be. So if you're with a worker and you don't feel the rapport is there, we want to get you into an environment. We would shift you workers and try someone else out.
Okay.
Now, you talked about your relationship with your mom, and that's a good support system. Do you have, beyond your mother, is there a support system for you outside of that?
No, not really. I have a very hard time trusting people. And I'm ashamed of what's wrong with me. I don't share it freely.
Okay. Now, would you like to go a little further on maybe what, but on the trust and trusting others, and being afraid to share, because you can't, but you don't feel that you have a support system, because you don't trust other people, and so you're afraid to share. Um, would you like to go into that a little further on what is? Are there things that have led you to that? I mean, have you been burned by other people that have brought you to that? Where does that come from? If you wouldn't mind sharing with me.
Yeah, I have been burned by other people in the past. Um, there's a huge stigma associated with mental illness, and I don't want that stigma, on my forehead or associated with me at all in any way, shape, or form. I can maintain in the world and hide, but I don't want to have to do that.
Now, in your community, do you have anything in your community that you would call a support system?
What do you mean by community? I'm a loner. I don't really have one.
Okay.
So if you could just clarify what you mean by community.
Well, just anyone around you, but I think that you were pretty clear about it.
Okay.
So we don't have to go further in that.
Sorry, I don't mean to come off as challenging.
Absolutely not. No, I think that I was a little repetitive there, and I didn't mean to be. So I'm sorry. So in your life, other than the stress and anxiety, are there any other things going on other than the stress and anxiety, or would you say that that's the basis of being here today?
The stress and the anxiety, and like I said, right now, I feel especially manic.
Okay.
I'm getting to a point where I'm getting ready to say, fuck it all, nothing matters, and start behaving recklessly. I seem to want to escape from my own life.
Pilar, before we go a little further, I just want to remind you about me being a mandated reporter, and I just want to ask you: are you thinking currently of hurting yourself or others?
No.
Okay. The reason I just asked that is because before we go further, I wanted to just remind you that because of the confidentiality, I will stand by you as a worker. I just don't want you to say something that I would have to report. So that's the only reason I stopped you, is just to make sure, and just to check in with you, and make sure you weren't feeling that way. Because as a mandated reporter, if you wanted to hurt yourself or others, I would have to report that, and I don't want to do that. So before a conversation might maybe go there, I just wanted to clarify the confidentiality and the mandated reporting again.
Okay. If I do say something that you need to report, do you tell me that you're reporting it or not? I don't believe I'll give you any such thing to report, but I'm just wondering, do I need to leave here worried that somebody's going to be knocking on my door later today? Or will I know somebody is going to come knock on my door because I've said something?
No, nobody's knocking on your door, and that was just the only reason of me clarifying with you. I didn't think that's what you were saying, but I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding you correctly.
Okay.
You know, I clearly understand you're here for services, and the last thing I want is you to be hurt. And so, as a worker here for you, I just need to make sure that you're not feeling like you needed some help in that way.
Okay.
Um, so, Pilar, going back to the stress and anxiety and the manic behavior, can you tell me how long you've been feeling this way?
About 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks, just that strong pressure of it.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've been able to identify the causes of what brings it up more than others?
No, I wish I could.
Right.
If I could identify the causes, I would eliminate the causes.
Right. And then, when talking about like what you would like to accomplish related to this issue, I felt like you were maybe a little clear as far as the service that you were looking for. Would there be anything that you could add that you were looking to accomplish beyond what we talked about already?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I just want to make sure that I hear you correctly and clearly. So outside of your mom, or do you have any other family members?
I do.
Yeah? Who do you have in your family?
I have a brother.
Okay. Just a brother?
Just one brother.
Okay.
I have a half sister actually, but I don't care to maintain any relationship with her.
Okay.
I have a couple aunts that I'm close with. But I would never count them as a support system because I would never reveal this much of myself to them.
Okay.
I wouldn't want them to worry or be upset.
So is it stressful to you? If you knew that they were stressing about you, that would be something that would be stressful to you?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other significant relationships that we could talk about?
I love my dog.
Okay. Are you an animal person, or is it just your dog? Okay.
I'm an animal person. Well, I'm a dog person.
What do you have?
A pit bull.
Okay. Do you just have the one?
Just the one right now.
Okay.
I'm thinking about getting her a brother or a sister. Her name's Nancy.
Your pit bull?
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
And if I get her a sister, her name's going to be Anita. And if I get her a brother, it's going to be Leonidas.
What was the sister's name?
Anita.
Anita? And Leonidas?
Yes.
Oh, those are cute names. Is that pit bull your favorite dog?
Yes.
That's cute. Sounds like you got a little family at home there.
I do.
You're and your doggy. That's cute. Well, I think we've collected I think that we have collected enough information here to go forward and set you up with a caseworker.
What do you mean? Excuse me, I'm sorry for the interruption.
No, that's
what
okay.
What do you mean? I thought you were the caseworker.
So
now I'm going to have to go through this again?
No, let me explain myself. So this is part of the intake process, and in the intake process, we gather a lot of information to find out how we can best help you. So going forward, what happens is I basically, the notes that I took, I type this into a report, and I will forward this on to a caseworker who will then take you on and will be your case manager. So what then that case manager does is they begin to start connecting you with resources that you need, such as the therapy you need, or or whatever, whether it is medical, whatever it is within our agency that we offer. If you're wanting it, they will get you set up in those departments. um, they will not force anything on you than what you want to do. You are in a position to where you call the shots, and we want you to feel empowered within our agency in that manner. We want you to feel empowered to better yourself and use whatever it is that we have to offer you. So going forward, what happens now is that I will set you up. I'm going to set your next appointment up with your case manager. As soon as I find out who it is, your case manager will be giving you a call to make sure that the times match up and that you can make those appointments. And as soon as you do that, then that's the next step. So that as soon as you do that, then therapy should be your immediate next step. But we'll work on that with your case manager, because I think that that's your most important, is just getting you into some regular therapy first. And I think it all is going to fall into place. And as you need or don't need, we'll either add to your plan or take from your plan. It just depends on you and what you feel that you're needing in your life. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Pilar, I want to tell you thank you for being here. I am in this field because I love helping people and I love seeing the change in people. I really do believe that change is possible, and I believe that we have it all within ourselves. I think that this is a great agency. I'm really happy working here. I couldn't be in an agency that doesn't put forth the real strength and effort in being there for our clients. And I would let you know that I'm here anytime. If you have any questions, you can please seek me out. And if you need any other guidance going forward, if there's any issues, you can please reach out to me, and I would like to assist you any further and getting you to the right person you need. But other than that, your case manager will be in touch, and we'll be going forward from there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pilar. I really appreciate you coming in today.
Take care.
Thank you.